Well, the ring nets are coming down. And that's great news for the environment. If you care about protecting wildlife and endangered species habitat, that's great news. But this video isn't really going to be about the environment. This video is more for people who aren't as concerned about those things as, say, maybe public safety, because they've been told that these ring nets will protect them from future debris flows and flooding. And also for the people who care about fiscal responsibility within our local government, which ultimately is the main reason given for the breakdown in negotiations between the PRC and the county. So first, let's talk about scale. The Montecito debris flow was estimated to have transported up to over 1.5 million cubic yards of material downstream. All of the ring nets combined have a capacity of just over 5,000 cubic yards. There is no way to prevent massive debris flows in these canyons. That idea is a fantasy. What isn't a fantasy is something called the levee effect. It's a term developed by researchers who study the real versus perceived level of protection that flood control provides to communities. Researchers have found that levees, or in this case ring nets, often give the public a false sense of security. A recent 2023 study stated debris basins provide some level of protection, but they arguably increase residual risk by encouraging settlement in the path of debris flows. It goes on, the existence of debris basins or ring nets upstream can induce a false sense of security among downstream residents. Montecito's debris basins are only designed to reduce the impact of frequent, smaller events. They were not intended to control sediment from large debris flows or floods. So let's stop framing this issue as being about protecting people. It's not really about that. If you really want to protect people, you'll stop pretending that these nets are going to make a difference when it really matters. That will actually get someone hurt or killed, because rather than evacuating, someone might be more likely to stay put, putting themselves and others at risk. But what about small floods and property damage? The net caught part of a large tree. Isn't that worth it? One tree. Here's a photo that I took of Carpinteria Beach last January 10th, the day after the big storm. Look, there is no way to stop these materials from coming downstream. These are forces of nature that we cannot control. Sure, I guess we could discount all other impacts and just keep throwing money at every project to try to stop every large tree from coming downstream. 6 nets, why not 10 nets? Why not 20? At what cost? Well, the San Isidro net has a capacity of 750 cubic yards. It filled up with vegetation and small sediment that would have most likely all traveled to the ocean. For the last month, the PRC worked to helicopter in an excavator to push that material to the side again so it can come downstream this winter. Seriously. If you break the whole thing down, at the end of 5 years, I wonder what this project cost to delay each excavator bucket of dirt from traveling downstream. So construction reportedly cost somewhere around $5.4 million. $1 million of that came from county taxpayers. Clean out of the ring net was recently reported to cost $1.2 million, funded by the federal government. Let's just round down and say $6 million total, to be conservative. One excavator bucket is about 1 cubic yard. $6 million divided by 750 cubic yards, that's $8,000 for each scoop of dirt that this net temporarily delayed from going downstream. Now that's a bucket full of money. If you want to protect public safety, fine, good. But let's spend that money on our fire departments, or on home hardening projects to protect communities from wildfire, or on schools, or lots of other important priorities, but not on a bucket of dirt. So kudos to county leaders for adding some sense of fiscal responsibility to this issue. We're grateful that the nets are coming down, now that the slopes have revegetated and the permit is expiring, just like the PRC promised in the first place. Thanks for your support.